47 meters down, Uncaged. The film starts at a girls' school in Yucatan, Mexico. Mia, Sophie Nélisse, is pushed into the pool by mean girl Catherine, Brec Bassinger. Mia's stepsister Sasha, Corinne Foxx, doesn't help her and even denies being her sister. They are picked up by Sasha's mom Jennifer, Nia Long, who married Mia's dad Grant, John Corbett. Sasha tells her parents none of the other girls like Mia, while the latter reiterates the former's claim that they aren't sisters. Over a meal, Grant shows Mia a shark tooth he found on one of his cave diving expeditions, and he gives it to her as she shares his interest in discoveries like this. Mia and Sasha are told that they are set up to go on a boat to see the sharks, which doesn't make Sasha happy since she was planning on hanging out with friends. Grant and his two assistants Ben, Davi Santos, and Khylin Rhambo drop the girls off as they set out on another cave diving venture nearby. The girls see that Catherine is there with her friends. Sasha's friends Alexa, Brianne, and Nicole, Sistine Stallone, drive up to get Sasha out of there. She reluctantly convinces Mia to come along since she knows she would rather be anywhere than stuck with Catherine. The girls give Catherine the finger and head off. The girls arrive near a cliffside by a cave and jump in the water. Mia actually starts to have fun with Sasha and her friends. They then grab scuba gear and decide to go exploring nearby since it is in the ruins of an ancient Mayan temple. They swim through the cave and find many old carvings, as well as many skeletons. Nicole sees a blind Mexican tetra swimming nearby. Alexa notes that it has been there a while and doesn't need eyes since it is adapted. The tetra swims toward Nicole and frightens her when it screeches, causing her to bump into columns that causes a commotion, splitting the girls up. Mia and Alexa find each other and then come across Ben, which means Carl and Grant are not far. A shark then pops out and kills Ben, causing the girls to flee. They swim into Sasha and Nicole again, and they tell them about the shark. The shark attacks the girls, but since it is blind, it uses its hearing senses to find them. It crashes into the columns and leaves the girls trapped for a moment. Once they get free, Mia and Sasha suggest they find Grant and Carl using a guideline that will lead them to where they were working. The girls swim through catacombs and see that the line ends there. Regardless, they continue to swim forward while also minding the fact that the oxygen in their tanks is running low. The shark then pops out again, forcing them to hide behind a cage for protection. They escape by making it through a passageway too narrow for the shark to fit through. They make it into an air pocket to get oxygen back while trying to figure out their next move. Mia swims down and sees a gap that she can fit through, and she goes for it. Mia swims nearby where Carl is working and listening to music. Unfortunately, he doesn't see the shark and promptly becomes its next meal. An emergency alarm then goes off as he is being shredded. Mia hears more music and finds herself alone and scared as she comes across Carl's remains. She eventually finds Grant, and the two go together to find the other girls. They are attacked by the shark again, and they fend it off using the sounds of a nearby bell, plus a blowtorch. The five reach the surface in the cave and use the alarm to scare the shark off temporarily. Grant points out a harness at the top for them to climb out of. Alexa starts to ascend first, but Nicole panics and jumps up to try and climb ahead of her. The harness starts to come loose with their combined weight, and although Nicole reaches the top, she slips and falls back down into the water before being quickly devoured. Grant and the girls then figure they need to swim to a nearby gap to get out of there, but the shark gets Grant moments later, leaving Mia and Sasha devastated. They swim together with Alexa to try and get out of there. They come across a current that pulls Sasha away from Mia and Alexa. The shark finds them again and attacks, but Alexa evades it. However, she is out of oxygen, and she soon drowns. Mia finds Sasha and they end up swimming to the surface. They find a boat and try to signal it. It turns out to be the boat that they would have gotten on to see the sharks. Someone on the boat is listening to music and can't hear the girls calling, and he dumps chum into the water for the sharks. This lures a few more sharks in that direction. Mia and Sasha bang on the glass, where the guests can see them, and they run to alert the crew. Mia makes it up on the boat, but Sasha gets pulled in by a shark. Mia grabs a flare gun and jumps in to save Sasha by firing the flare at the shark's face. Just as they get back, another shark grabs Mia and pulls her in. She frees herself by taking the shark tooth and slicing across the shark's side to injure it, freeing herself. The people on the boat pull Mia in before another shark can get her. The girls receive medical attention, but Mia and Sasha are just glad that they still have each other. Introverted outcast Mia joins her stepsister Sasha and her friends Alexa and Nicole on a spelunking trip to an old Mayan cave. There, they are stalked by a shark in the catacombs. With their oxygen running out, they struggle to find a way out of there safely. Mia's father Grant is nearby with 2 assistants on an expedition. The assistants are eaten by the shark, but Grant tries to help the girls get out using a harness that leads out of the cave. Alexa starts to climb, but Nicole tries rushing up in a panic, causing the harness to come loose and leads her to fall and become shark food. Grant gets killed just moments after they resolve to swim out of a nearby gap. The remaining girls then try swimming to the surface, but Alexa drowns when her oxygen runs out. Mia and Sasha make it out and see a shark sighting boat that can help them. Unfortunately, the crew members are dumping chum into the water, luring more sharks there. The girls get the attention of the people on board and are nearly killed, but thanks to Mia's quick thinking, she saves herself and her sister from the sharks.